no, Sabrina Carpenter isn't setting back feminism because she likes her hair to be lightly tugged on. It's actually not a sin.
100% what that creator just said. Go back and watch their video. But now that you guys have successfully canceled Sabrina Carpenter into changing the artwork on her album cover, I finally want to give my opinion on it, because it requires some nuance, and I think it might ruffle a lot of feathers here. As always, make sure you like and repost and follow along for more. So quick recap in case you're not already aware of the controversy. Sabrina Carpenter dropped this artwork with her single teasing her next album. I didn't originally give my opinion on this because I think it requires a lot of nuance, and I agree with some of the takes on both sides of this argument. Now, for starters, I will agree that the timing of dropping this album cover was really bad. I don't think they read the room extremely well, and the fact that submitting to a man with the climate of the country right now isn't the best look. And yes, a lot of what she does is very camp and satire, right? She had that video in the church in which it upset a lot of religious people. But there is a certain point or period of time in which satire isn't really satire anymore, and it's kind of just who you are. I do think she is starting to approach that point. It's the same way in high school my friends and I used to ironically play Fetty Wap every time we'd come into school, and at a certain point we were just listening to Fetty Wap. Or for years people called Lana Del Rey satire or a play on the genre, and now look at who she's married to. And alright, we know a lot of people on the left are upset because this album cover seems degrading to women. But then there's also people like this previous creator, right, who are saying, well, actually you're just shaming women for expressing themselves here. Which is why we also know it's upsetting a large group of people on the right who are saying it's too scandalous. It's a sign of the times reverting back to more conservative eras. I acknowledge those arguments and angles. I don't actually think that's what the artwork was even trying to accomplish. And I think it ironically accidentally completely nailed what it was trying to do in a way that it didn't originally intend. Because from the brief clips of the song I've heard, it sounds like a song about a man completely humiliating her. So she has this artwork here of a man dragging her by the hair, completely humiliating her. And then it started all this online discourse in a way they probably didn't expect that completely publicly humiliated her in a different way. From an artist's perspective, she completely nailed it here, and I imagine the rest of the album is also going to have a very similar vibe to this. But I do have to agree that the timing of all of this and the climate of things right now is maybe not the best. Sometimes now to determine if a scandal is really that huge of a scandal, I think back to November and I ask myself, if she had won, if we were living in that glorious timeline, would this be as big of a scandal as it is? If the answer is no, at least it gives me a slightly better perspective of where I should be putting my energy. As someone who went to art school, I do think it's funny, and she completely nailed the assignment, just maybe not in the way she originally intended.